put in a new set of softs, and he's making another time lap. Purple in the first sector.
Alright, well, the game kicked me out, so I'll have to receive an invite for that.
Hold on. I can't invite you to the game. Won't let me. You still there?
Alright, yeah, I'm there. Well, that's unfortunate.
It's all grayed out.
Hold on. I think I'm able to join through one of the driver's profiles. There you go. I got an invite. We're good.
Okay. Kieran Evans drops his time down to 16.3. He wants to have front row position.
Alright, I'm back. Actually, I'm not on board with Kieran Evans. I'll have to get everything adjusted right now. As for every lap times right now, Kieran Evans, like you said, dropped his lap time to a 16.3 in the softs. Everyone else, except for Taco and Dixie, are on mediums and Taco and Dixie. So I had to. It would have to be a dry race. And I'll have to see for the weather report. As you can tell, the stream is back up, which is great to see, as I'm waiting for now, see if the stream is any better.
Catcher just went in purple in the first sector. She did that on mediums.
Yeah, she's out on mediums, so the entire differential in qualifying between the softs and the mediums is around 1.1 to 1.3 seconds, so that's going to be interesting to see if Capture is even able to set a quick lap time, as she's actually invalidated.
Yeah. Shame.
Yeah, it's such a shame. I have the time glitch for quali, so I will not know how much time is left in quali, so you're going to have to help me on that.
We got about 7:20 left.
Alright, 7:20, that will be around 9 minutes for me. I'll do some quick math. As Yeet Doggo in the AlphaTauri set a purple sector 2, I'm not sure if that was a game glitch or not. Not able to tell since the fact that he's not set a lap time yet. But if he keeps it valid through here, he'll be able to set a valid time. Yes, he does, and he comes across the line with an 18-1.
Yep, moves him up to 7th. Puts him 4th on the mediums. We only have 3 guys out on the softs right now that have set times. It's Kieran Evans, Gary, and El Taco Man.
Yeah, the Mercedes of Goose Slayers actually went through Sector 2. I'm not sure if he got a purple or not. As that's an Alfa Romeo round, as I believe that, yes, that is Catcher actually. As Goose Slayer goes up in the P2 with a 16.6. So everyone, it seems like, is looking for a medium start as Ardell retires in the pit lane.
I don't know why Kieran Evans is using up all the soft tires, but he is.
Yeah, Kieran is actually, like you said, burning up all the softs that he has. A bit questionable that you said that it was a bit questionable for the guys of Kieran right now, knowing that the championship battle is so tight. You gotta take a gamble. You know that you're not gonna win races being on the same strategy as those guys. I wouldn't say desperation is starting to kick in, but now you're wondering about the alternate strategies that you can pull off that catch up to those guys for the Tier 3 championship. as Kieran Evans is now starting a lap, as I'll be doing a hot lap with him as he goes into turn 1. Got to get a good exit through here. You won't have much traction, especially since you're kind of going uphill. But now going into turn 2, it's gonna kind of a hard corner, at least for me, to hit the right apex. Now going through 3, going through 3, I accidentally said turn 2, but actually he sets a purple, only two tenths up on his time, which will obviously be a purple sector 1, as going through sector 2 now, going into tight chicane, where I actually, wrecked and realistic, cannot hit those curbs because they'll send you flying out when your tires are really old and starting to overheat a little bit. But now going through the fast right lefts, going through here, you wouldn't hit the curbs here either, like I crashed in quali. Kieran Evans not able to improve through sector 2 though, so it's going to be very close between his lap times from last lap and this lap. But going through sector 3 now, have to get a good exit through here. It is very easy to spin out there though. Now going through the final corner, he gets a good exit, good apex, hits the DRS button. Let's see what lap time it produces. It is a 16.4, not able to improve.
And he's still off by a 10.
Yep, as Ron actually improved to a 16.6, as now there's only 4 minutes of qualifying left to go. So I'd not be surprised if drivers are going out now. It's Gary actually sits the fastest lap of the quali session so far with a 16 flat. Ketra has not actually set a lap time yet in the Alfa Romeo. That is, I'm not quite sure. That sounded a little bit awkward right there. I'm not sure when the races were, but I remember a race where Ketra did not set a qualifying lap time. Let's hope that the same does not happen here. So now we'll be waiting to see if she's able to even do a lap. As I believe as Kieran is actually going for a second time around, as no he's not actually. I saw his battery and I thought that he was up on his lap time. That's why I believed that he was still going on quali. As he is in the lane now, as Ron is also in the pit lane. Taco's outlap on the medium. G-Doggo's on an outlap on the softs. So it seems like all these guys are going to get a lap in now. Kieran Evans actually retired from the session in the pit lane. He believes that he won't be able to improve at all anymore. And he retires in the pit lane as Taco's on a lap now. Quick Tongue, what kind of lap time do you expect from Taco here, knowing that he's under pressure now in the championship?
I think he could drop it down. He's going to get on some softs to get going. I think Kieran Evans showed that he had what he had, but also he used up a lot of his softs. That's when I heard him in the race. Ron Swanson, yes, I think, is going to come out. See, they got 150 left. If he can get back on the track right now, he's still got a chance. And Katra is on the track. Retired. She did go on to soft, so I would imagine that's going to turn out well.
Yes, we're going to have to wait and see as Taco improved by 6/10 actually. I'll put him at a 17.2 around Stig and in Ardell. We're going to have to see what he does going through Sector 2 now. If he keeps it valid, and yes he does, he keeps it valid, and he's only up by 4/10 now, which won't even put him anywhere. As he goes wide through there, that's not going to help him out whatsoever. As Gary also retires in the pit lane. So it's going to be down the Katra, really, and Eat Doggo. Slayer retires. Slayer retires in the pit lane. As Taco coming around the final corner now, he actually doesn't improve on his lap time. Unless he's going for a second run, which I believe he is. Unless the battery is glitched, at least for me.
Yeah, here goes Katra's run.
Yep, Katra going through the final corner now, keeps it valid, and now she's on a hot lap on the soft compounded tire. If I had to take a guess here, she would be around the front row, really knowing that only the soft runners, except for Yeet Doggo, is currently on the front row. So I believe we're going to have a top 3 lockout of soft runners, unless Katra invalidates or crashes. She keeps it, oh no, and that's an invalidation for Katra. I'm not sure. Oh, Katra, no!
Round she goes. Yeet Dog hit the wall in turn 5, so only one left is Taco Man. Going into the last 3 turns.
He keeps it valid. Alex going through here. He goes a little bit wide. Which I'm actually sure that is the qualifying line. I believe.
Moved him up
He
to
actually
7.
improves to 17.2 and P7 ahead of Ardell. Is qualifying over? I believe it is. Yes, it is actually.
I think Catra Ichigo had to be over. Unless Ichigo can improve. Coming out of the last corner.
Yep, we're gonna have to and see. It looks like it.
Yes, he did.
I'm not sure where that would place him. Or where.
Moved him up to 5th.
Yes, it did actually. Moved him up in the P5. 16.8. So a front row lockout. You said it yourself that Kieran Evans is expecting a front row here with the soft runs, and he actually got the front row. So it's good to see how all these guys do in the Grand Prix. Only I would have to take a guess and say that Catra will go. I believe only the top 2 will be on the soft. So really, they're just really in the catbird seat, really, when it comes to tire wear and overheating. Because at Hungary, the softs, when it comes to overheating, are terrible.
Yeah, maybe 7 to 8 good laps, maybe 10 or 11 if you really push them.
I was able to take them around 8 to 10 laps, so like you said, around that range, as it is a dry start to the Grand Prix. So that'll be interesting to see if weather actually does play a role in the race or not, but the way every mediums, I would have to doubt so. Now for everyone to get their setup in and their fuel, so now we're just waiting on the formation lap.
A little premature, but it looks good for Mercedes with Ray and Slayer being in the top 3 together. One of them being on softs.
Yep, so it's really going to be for the front row. I didn't even check race director. Tire catcher goes on. Oh, it's mediums. I'm not surprised about that. But now the formation lap is underway. Now for all the tires warmed up for the start of the Grand Prix. I'm just excited to see what will happen here, and especially in real. I can't compare the start of real life to this, at least to this tier though, because it was wet. But in tier 3 it was dry. So it'll be very interesting to kind of drivers get a good start. Like I said, when it comes to starts, I think the softs are going to get the jump for like the 2 to 3 laps, and then after that, it's just going to be a matter of time before the medium runners catch up once again to the front 2. We used to do this as a weekly, or you could say in between the break week, weekly podium prediction. Quick turn. Who do you think is going to be on the top steps of the podium?
With it's consistent, you got to give him that. So I'll put him up there on the podium with probably Gary, and he's sitting in the wings. Don't ever count out Catra. We found that out.
Yep. They're already at sector 3. Jeez, they're going. Dang, I can't be able to get my breath. So now he's probably bunching to make sure that the tires are not. Because if they're too warm, then they're probably going to overheat. I keep bringing up overheating because it is going to be absolutely crucial for these soft runners, because practice, when I did before realistic, the mediums and hards never overheated, so it's only the softs. As now Gary is now letting, it's going to be, according to F2 and realistic, drama. Now for Hey Catra to be on the grid as well to get underway.
Here we go.
As there are 3, 4, 5 red lights and it is lights out, and away we go. Able to get a good POV. That's a good start, and actually Kieran did not get a good start whatsoever, and they're going down in the turn one. Very looking from the Mercedes and Alpine. Players are going well to wheels. This will be for Gooslayer and Kieran Evans as they're going well into turn two, now coming out of turn three. So I believe DXD got a snap. Kieran, that's Kieran in the wall, and he's out. Not out. Out him. But that is not at all for the start of the Grand Prix. Oversteer, I believe, after hitting the curb, as there's a between Taco and Yeet Doggo. They're going into the tight chicane. Their tech actually is Taco basically forced Yeet Doggo to leave the position. It's now everyone is stringed out except for Stig and DXD, which I believe DXD is having a connection issue, at least. So I'm hoping that he's able to get that fixed. As the closest battle is, like I said, actually trying to look for a move. Taco just got him off. I just believe that Yeet Doggo just backed out of it. It's now Gary is coming across to finish. Not what Gary really needed for Kieran Evans not to even crash out. Actually in the lane, which I believe is for wing damage.
He's got damage to his wing.
Yeah, I'm not really surprised about. Really, the closest battle on track is P. Like you said, never count out Catcher because she's already up to P6 with Monster Star. Taco actually goes on the hards and Kieran goes on mediums.
We'll start counting up warnings later.
Yep, as warnings will be, and penalties, because you can get them here. It will not, it's not really hard. As actually DXD's went off. I believe he's had a snap of oversteer, and there's actually in the front. Oh, he actually lagged. Never mind about that. DXD, which is, I'm hoping he's able to get that connected. As, like I said, DXD in P4, Stig in P5, and Catcher P6. For now, it's really about Ender. There's a yellow flag. I don't believe that's real. As Gary gets a fastest lap in the Grand Prix for 19.7. And he only pulled away by around 0.3 of a second, really. So it seems like the soft advantage is already somewhat going away.
Gary may have underfueled a little bit, able to pull that lead right off the bat.
He's actually pulling away once again, so never mind about that observation that I made about the softs advantage. So from sector 1 and sectors, well, only in sector 1 it seems like the softs get so much of a better run, and Taco's actually in the lane once again. It seems like Taco's bad run of races are continuing, as he also had gotten wings again. Is now actually, geez, I can't get out of my observations because Gooslayer is actually catching up to Gary in only at 1.8. He's actually gaining now on Gary, so it seems like I said about Kieran Evans having that advantage over the rest of the guys having that soft advantage. It's already going away, and it doesn't help that the fact of wing damage on lap 1 and almost crashing out. And now the DRS, the drag reduction system, it's already past lap 3, it's lap 4 now. It's now been enabled, the drag reduction system. Like I said, you gain an extra 10 kilometers an hour that does not have any DRS, and if you're American that has miles an hour, it is 5 miles. And it seems like we've got ourselves a DRS train starting from Gooslayer and ending at Hale. Majority of is just in this DRS train. And
there's
especially
chipping away 10th at a time.
He's chipping away at that gap, which I'm absolutely not surprised about. It's just between the wheels start gaining on the soft runners, which really only soft runner now is Gary. Is now the DRS train. The bad thing about being in a DRS, which will not help at all. And also, like to point out, is that Gooslayer doesn't have DRS. So, in my opinion, it's only a matter of Ron gets to his rear gearbox and looks to remove. As you said, that he's really consistent, especially when it comes to long endurance races, because he's actually won races from it at Canada and one other track, which I believe.
As they go through the top
as
5, all of them they're sparingly using their ERS only when they're coming out of corners. They're not laying on it, so that's keeping everybody tight right now.
yep, and I've noticed that the high RS is actually the Ferrari of Ron. So like, keep voting about Ron here, but which I really can as actually the guy he's trying to pass right now is actually I'm in the DRS range. If not, then it was really close, and he's not. So he's gonna have to spend another lap having the disadvantage over the guys behind him. But at the same time, the dirty air is at this point. Oh, actually, there's a battle for P5 between Stig and Katra, and I believe Stig let him through. And actually, no, he did not. He gets a snap of oversteer, which compromises his run through the corner, and that allows Katra to get into P5, I believe, and he let the Alfa Romeo of DXT issue go through. And now only perks of Gary and Gooslayer only have DRS on each other, as D and Ron broke the DRS train by battling going through there. Ooh, Ron had a snap of oversteer going through there. I just noticed that. So now I'm looking back on, hey, Katra, after going through Stick, she's already caught up to the rear gearbox of Ron, so it believes to me that it looks like that Katra is the fastest runner out of these guys in the DRS train. And I wonder if Ron will actually let Katra through here, which I doubt in my opinion, but we'll see, because Ron isn't a heavy fighter when it comes to early stages. If you heard in his interview, actually, you could say he called out people that are racing way too early as here we go. We're going to see if Ron lets her through. And he does actually. Actually, he's looking for a switchback. And he is not using the battery whatsoever. You know, Katra uses a little bit. They're going wheel to wheel going into turn 3. And Katra is now able to get ahead of Ron. And now can set her sights on her teammate of DXT Ishigo.
Gooslayer's put it right on the gearbox of Gary now.
Yeah, as Stig and AlphaTauri, like you brought up, the time penalties will start racking up quickly if you go wide. And Stig has gotten his first out of any driver in the session. As I am just watching the difference between Gary and Gooslayer. The rears are just sliding way too much. I can tell they're overheating now. So I wouldn't be surprised if Gary comes into pit lane even now, because Gooslayer is already caught up to him, and now Dixie's already back in the DRS, and so is Catra's. Ardell gets a 3-second time penalty. As there's a yellow flag, and that's Kieran Evans actually out of the Grand Prix. The same place, and that's a safety car.
Whoa.
That is not what you wanted to see, especially from Gary. As Ardell
Gary might like
is back
this.
in the lane. I mean, we'll have to see if anyone else would come in, but honestly,
But you've got Taco Man, and he's almost 58 seconds down, so there's going to be at least 2 to 3 more laps of safety car. Oh, and he disappears, so Kieran Evans is gone.
Yep. Now we're only down to 9 drivers, as Yutago and Ardell are actually in for hard. So with this safety car, they believe that the mediums will not be able to make it, and they believe that hards are the way to go. So now we're gonna have to wait for seeing what everyone else does.
So do you think the hards will go up? Yeah, they'll go 27, easy.
Yeah, they'll go 27. I'm not sure about the mediums though. I will want to see if anyone will take that gamble for the mediums. In my practice, I wasn't able to take mediums the whole way, especially even with staying out to like lap 10 or anything. I wasn't able to get them the whole race through without them going over 90%. So at least if it was my preference, I would go for the hards, but we're gonna have to see what everyone else does.
Well, here comes Gary around, final corner, and
I would have to take yes, he's in.
Going in.
As everyone Oh, Dixie's in, Ron's in,
Each.
Stig's in. So I believe they're going to the hards.
Right. Goose
Not
Lair
have to take a
obviously feels
gamble.
good about his mediums.
Gary's in for hards. Ron is in for hards. Ishigo, all of them are on hards. So everyone except for Taco, Catcher, and Goose Slayer are on the hard compound tire. So I would not be surprised if these guys stretch it to the rest of the Grand Prix. So now that will inherit Goose Slayer, not Yeet Doggo, K-Catcher in P2, Yeet Doggo P3, Ardell P4, Gary P5, Ishigo P6, Ron P7, Stig P8, and Taco will stay in P9.
Safety car worked out well for Yeet Dog and Ardell. They were able to get in.
Yeah, they actually needed that, and so did Taco. He needed that safety car badly because, like you said, actually a minute behind. So honestly, I can see the safety car going in this lap because I believe Taco will catch them in time. But we're gonna have to wait and see as they're going through the chicane now, and Taco's just now getting into turn 3.
Yeah, 3rd through 8th, they're going to have to be really nice the first 2 to 3 laps coming out of this safety car because those hards are not going to be warm.
Yeah, we're gonna have to wait and see. As no, it will not. The safety car will not go in this time, as it is too late now for these drivers. Oh, as Ron has no front wing, that's a 5-second time penalty. And that is it should go with a 5-second. Wait, is that another? What just happened?
I think they hit each other.
If I had to take a guess, Stig hit the brakes, and Ishigo and Ron were not expecting it. Ron has big wing damage. He will absolutely will have to be going back in the lane. As Catcher also in the pit lane as well, she probably does not believe that the mediums will go in the rest of the way. Actually, I had to say that. She started on the medium, she has to change to a tire, and she's on the hards, as Taco is actually on the hards as well. So everyone except for Goose Slayer is on the not on the mediums, on the hards. As Ron actually went to the hards, mediums.
You know, I kind of love Hungarian Ring. It's got the best feel. It has the greatest rhythm when you're running around in practice. If you get outside of the racing line, though, it is, get unforgiving. But when you're in the racing line, it's just the rhythm you can get here that a lot of tracks you don't have. Might not be the fastest, definitely not the slowest, but it's a follow-the-leader track.
Yeah, it really is, unless you have a superior car.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in realistic. Even in the... It would just be even worse in the rain, in my opinion. Even in this game, it's really hard to pass in the rain. Its safety car is actually in the slap, so everyone's caught and back up. So on the mediums, he probably had to take a guess. Will try and at least try and make it to the end of the race, because if not, those tires are going to look really bad. As the Merc of Goose Slayer is backing the pack up. As now we will wait. As Catcher gets a 5-second
for hitting the back of Taco Man. Or no, the other way around. Taco Man ran into Catra.
Seems like a lot of these guys are being caught napping, at least when it comes to hitting each other in safety car. And we are away as Goose Slayer catches everyone off guard, really, and tries to break the slipstream as they're going in turn 1. Is there really any action? No, there is not. They're all separated around 4 to 6 tenths of a second. As currently everyone keeping it close to turn 1, no crashes or anything. On the turn 2 now, as we're on board with Catra. Ahead of her is her teammate of DC Ishigo. There is Ron on the mediums. Also, I'd like to point out that he's on the superior compounded tire, at least for now, so he's going to have the pace advantage, and I would not be surprised if he goes for moves.
Goose is really taking advantage of these scuffed mediums, and he will for about, like I said, 3 laps.
Yes, as I believe he went a little bit wide right there. So that will probably be, oh, who's that? And Alfa Romeo off at 60 as he lets Catcher through. And now it seems like Catcher, if I would have to go for a really bold take, I believe she's the fastest car out of anyone on the grid right now. She's the only driver, at least so far this race, that I've seen make any kind of move when it comes to being in a DRS train or just in particular a move that's not on a race start. As Ron is looking for a move on Taco going into turn 1. Deep braking from the Ferrari as Taco is looking for a switchback, which will not happen as Ron will go up in the P8 ahead of Taco. Aston Martin, that's now in P9. There's a battle for P2 somewhat going on between Yeet Doggo and Ardell. As like you pointed out, the Mercedes of Gooslayer is really taking advantage of these scuffed mediums. Already a 2-second gap. So he actually gained 2/10 just through that corner alone. So it seems like he is just really taking advantage. But the question is Yeet Doggo holding these guys up?
He is holding them up right now.
DRS will be enabled coming this time through, but nobody will be able to use it, at least from I can tell, going through turn 2, or turn 1, excuse me, as Yeet Doggo and Ardell almost went well to will going through the penultimate corner, as Ardell gets a snap out, actually, has to correct it and goes way off track, and that will actually allow Gary to make a move, as Yeet Doggo is trying to break the slipstream, as Gary's looking for a move on Ardell. Very deep braking from the two as Ardell's squeezing Gary off. There's a little bit of contact. They keep it clean though as Deke's getting back on a move for Catcher, and Catcher lets him through as Ron is actually going for a move on Catcher. So whatever I said about Catcher, I wonder if she has wing damage or if she's just currently playing the long game and trying to do unnecessary risk until the end of this race. As the other AlphaTauri of Stig is actually on the rear gearbox of Gary, Ardell is also on the rear gearbox of the other AlphaTauri of Yeet Doggo. So it seems like the AlphaTauri drivers are trying to gang up really on the rest of the grid. But at the same time, this is allowing Gooslayer to grow an even bigger gap, which will help him out.
There he goes.
As Ardell is going for a
move.
As Yeet Doggo actually lets him through, as now Gary will be looking for a move himself. There's a little bit of contact. Yeet Doggo squeezes Gary off as Gary will actually be able to get through. Yes, he'll be able to go through as the AlphaTauri drivers are now going wheel to wheel. I wonder, now this stacks really everybody up as DXD's looking for a move on Yeet Doggo now. And Stig, this is really getting action-packed right now. It's deep down, late braking into turn 1 as he actually forces Stig's off. So now every DXT, especially now for Mayo, he's getting his muscles out early. As this will be interesting to see. Now DXT goes deep into turn 2, which will allow Stig to get the switch back. Oh, you can't go to wheel here. There's a little bit of contact. He saves it. Stig actually gets a little bit, he's drifting through that corner. A little bit of turbo drifting. So now we're going through sector 2, the dirty air sector. So now we'll be able to calm ourselves down, at least for a little bit. As now, this is a driver, this is helping out severely. I keep saying it time and time again, Gooslayer. I wonder if Ron will be looking for a move on Stig anytime soon, because these guys are really holding each other up right now. That was just really, really hard and clean racing at the same time through the sector 3 and sector 1. Now they're able to calm themselves a little bit. So as soon as I say that, they're probably going to be going at it again between Stig and Ichigo. And no, they're not actually. They're all using their battery to hold each other off. They're all equal except for Ron, which is at 50. As Catcher and Yeet Doggo are actually going at it. So Yeet Doggo will get the switch back, but does Catcher have DRS? I would have to take guess and say so. As Ron's actually looking for a move on Stig, they're keeping it wheel to wheel. As Stig forces Ron off, Ron keeps it in there. He's able to keep it clean. There's contact. They're off track, and that's Ron out of the Grand Prix.
Ron Swanson's out of the race. That's
And
a safety car, and it is. Well, that really, I think that'll going to help Gooseslayer out. He's going to be able to get in, get out. He'll come out 8th. That should be fine.
But yeah, and I would, like I said early in the race, you don't want to be making moves like that. I just really didn't see a purpose in staying in the battle really there, because you know the consequences I butchered that, when you go wheel to wheel through there. Even on the, I wouldn't say last lap, you're gonna obviously put in there, but on lap 15, that was just, in my opinion, really not necessary staying in that battle, because now you've caused someone the DNF that will probably send it to the stewards. Really, I would not be surprised if that does happen. But now also you're lucky that you've gotten a safety car, because if that wasn't, you just compromised your own race.
Heat of the moment, those things happen.
Like you said, heat in the moment. So yeah, safety car is out. Second safety car, by the way. I believe there's been actually a serious, every single tier race that's happened so far this weekend at Hungary, the Mercedes AMG safety car has been deployed quite a lot. I wish it was Aston Martin though, because it's so much better than the Mercedes, at least in this game. I'm not sure about real life. I don't care about safety cars in real life, but in this game, I gotta give it to Aston Martin. As something like, now we're able to pull ourselves off, refill our drinks, get a little bit more food, first steak, maybe popcorn, apples, maybe.
Popcorn's great for a commentator.
Yeah, it really is. You gotta put butter on it and everything.
Oh, I got a suggestion for Cody's. Under a safety car, warnings should be disabled unless you do clear-cut corner cutting. But if you go off track just a little bit because you're going through your menu, there should be no warnings incurred under a safety car. Just my little thought.
I do agree with that suggestion, but if I had to take a guess, even though it's in their name, I would have to take a guess that they don't know how to code very well.
Or you're too kind.
Yeah, too kind of a suggestion. Well, it's a good suggestion. If they knew how to code it, that I would just imagine they're watching the stream right now. I'm just like, just making fun of them, no reason. I'm just gonna get an email just saying that I'll just get banned from the game if I don't stop trash talking the game.
So who did I pick? Ardell, Gary, and Katra.
Ardell, Gary, and Ron. No, yeah, you're right. It was
yeah.
Ardell, Gary, and Katra.
So we'll see.
Oh yeah, I forgot that Katra got a purple on the second. I would not be surprised if they do, in fact, get those time penalties removed. Because I've seen a lot of their 5 seconds get removed, especially just even when I'm in this league alone. I would say majority, like 55% of reports are just penalty removals. I would say like 95%, not 95, like 90% of the time they've gotten it removed. I've seen like some that haven't gotten them removed, but not really.
Ichigo's got 10 seconds of penalties inside of safety cars. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, those time penalties will not play well. Once again, and what? What? Taco? Taco's out of the Grand Prix. What happened there?
I don't know. He spun out, coming out of turn 5, headed towards the chicane, 6 to 7.
Oh, we're down to 7. I'm not sure what happened there. Well, that's awkward. That's unfortunate for Taco. But guess what? I bet the likes of Gary and Ardell are smiling right now at the fact that 2 of their championship contenders are out of this Grand Prix. And actually, they're 1-2 right now. If I'm Gary, I'm like, I do not want to risk this at all, really, because not only I'm guaranteed for points, I'm guaranteed for 4 points. It's either, wait. I would have to take a guess. It would be 6 points. Yes, I'm correct, actually. I did that on my head because I'm a big kid. As now Ardell's backing back up, as now we're underway. As actually DXD got a really good start, and so did Katra. So I believe the Mercedes of Gary was sleeping, as DXD's going to try and go around the outside, but will not get the run through the apex of the corners. Now Katra got a bit of oversteer, will not be able to do anything against the Alfa Romeo of Dixie or even the Mercedes of Gary. Is now actually the other Mercedes, Goose Slayer, been in the lead for majority of this Grand Prix, now backed up. So we're gonna have to see how his car is in dirty air, as Gary's already back up to the rear gearbox of Ardell and the Red Bull. So a Mercedes and Red Bull fight, we've seen this before. But anyway, going through sector 2 now. Goose Slayer will get the dirty air, and so will the Alfa Romeo drivers. So basically everyone at this point will get dirty air except for Ardell. So now we go through sector 2. I do not believe there will be any battles ever going wheel to wheel, because it is very rare to see these cars go wheel to wheels. Gary gets on the curb. Big oversteer still is, oh, never mind. I got a little bit excited there as DC was lagging a little bit. As he gets actually snapped the oversteer, I believe, going through there. So now it seems like everyone is packed up here, backed up here. So I keep saying packed up, backed up here. So now going on the lap 2 of this stint, next lap the DRS will be enabled. So it's going to be interesting to see as Ardell is actually breaking the toe. He's weaved once, won't be able to, is not allowed to weave after 2 times. As he does not only weaves 1 time, which is completely illegal under the FIA and BRL rulebook. Excuse me, I had to get a drink for my sweet tea from McDonald's. We're not sponsored by McDonald's, this Grand Prix. As Ardell is actually starting to pull a gap a little bit between Ardell and basically everyone else. So it seems like DXD, I wouldn't say is holding him up, but I would start to see the drivers start to get very impatient here at the late stages of this Grand Prix.
Well, they got their heart rates down now, and they're all kind of lined up and putting on the train, so we'll see as soon as the DRS turns on.
Yeah, I would believe the likes of Gary and all them would catch it back up to Ardell. But I've noticed that in this game, you are not actually able to use DRS in turn 3. I do not believe that's actually in the real life as well. I'm not sure, but I don't pay attention to that. I only pay attention to the racing in real life. But DRS is enabled, the drag reduction system. You gain 10 kilometers an hour, like I said earlier in the race, 5 miles an hour. So it's going to be really, really strong, as Gary does not get the DRS like I pointed out before, as he will get it next lap. So it's really basically a 4-lap run until you get DRS at all. Patrick goes a little bit wide going there. He'll have to lift to compromise in case she gets on that curb and spins out, like basically what I almost did in realistic last night multiple times, as Stig is actually in the rear gearbox of Goose Slayer as well. So it seems like everyone is just really in a pack of 2, really, but all in a DRS train. So it's going to be really interesting to see, especially at this end of this Grand Prix. And speaking of DRS, DXD needs to hang in there for the 1 second gap, because if not, Catch will just blow past him. And Katra will catch herself back up to the top 2, which is Gary and Ardell. And with time penalties, really, Ardell has 3, Dixie has 10, Katra has 5. I would have to take those time penalties with a grain of salt and say in case they do get removed. So currently, I believe Ardell will just actually go down to 7th, actually, I believe. As now, the drivers are now starting to get DRS, so expect Gary to catch Ardell very quickly. He's already under 3/10 now, really. Now going out of turn 1, Ardell gets a snap of oversteer, which will actually help Gary going through here now. He will just keep the gap somewhat as it is and gain a little bit more. So now these guys in the game right back up to each other, especially once Gary and Ardell start battling, because it's only a matter of time. Yeet Doggo gets a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. So it's going to be very interesting to see what will happen at the end of this Grand Prix when it comes to time penalties. As Stig gets a second time penalty for exceeding track limits, as they're actually going wheel to wheel between Goose Slayer and Stig, as Goose Slayer goes around. As does he get wing damage, he barely avoids the wall. Very fortunate to see from the Mercedes, as now really another one bites the dust to really having an incident here in this Grand Prix. So it seems like you said, consistency is key, and you do not want to get yourself in the battles that are really not worth it at the end of the day. As now Gary will get DRS on Ardell once again. This time he's using the battery, so he's probably going to be looking for a dive. He's probably too far back, if I have to say so myself, and he does not look for a move. But if he gets any snap of oversteer, which he does not, but that line will compromise him a little bit, as now he's not able to get ascend going into turn 2. So he's going to have to wait another lap to see if he can pass the Red Bull of Ardell.
Earlier, I was going to say that Slayer had a good opportunity of hanging with these guys, because he had almost 6 laps newer hards, and as they came in, he would be in good shape, but falling back now 8 seconds from the 6th place, it's really going to hurt him.
Yep, that is really unfortunate for Goose Slayer, as unless there is another safety car, I would have to take a guess that his race is over when it comes to winning the Grand Prix. But we're going to have to wait and see, because he's already under 9 seconds of Yeet Doggo. So Stig sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix with a 19.5, I believe that was. I'll have to check. The gap fastest lap is a 19.5, and Stig's looking for a move on Katra, and Katra will just let Stig through. Like I said, some of these drivers here are deciding not to fight it, knowing that you see the results of it happening already. You do not want it to happen again, especially to you. There's a yellow flag. Who is that? Is that Katra? Yes, it is. She's right next to the wall.
And she just came off the wall
for going the wrong way. That is just really unfortunate. That's just I wouldn't even blame that on Katra, really. She was out of the track and not even going the wrong way. She was parked trying to get it out of the wall. Honestly believe that she was beached there in the game. Just decided that it just wasn't her time and decided that she needed to go.
I've had that happen too, and that just makes you mad. Okay, we're almost done.
I don't blame her.
We could have a commentator for one of each of the racers that are left here. Come on, guys.
Yeah, Goose Slayer is actually on the button. Ardell goes defensive, and they're going to be going wheel to turn 1. This will help.
On the outside.
On the outside, there's a little bit of contact. Ardell does not let Gary
now
through.
He's going
wheel to wheel. We'll be going wheel to wheel.
Gary's
Will there
got
be any contact? Oh, there's a little bit of contact. Not enough to have an incident, though. And Ardell lives to see another day in the lead of the Hungarian Grand Prix. Really exciting racing that you really love to see, really, here in the Breakout Racing League. Like I said, at Monaco, these drivers are the cleanest drivers of North America. And in all these tier racing, and it's just really spectacular to really watch them race.
It's really tightened the pack back up to 4th, too. Everybody's within just a few tenths.
Yep, like you said, and Goose Slayer is already almost 7 seconds behind Yeet Doggo. So, with the way we've been going, at least in this Grand Prix, Goose Slayer may even get a position here in P5.
All right, another DRS run down to the end.
Yep, I bet he's going to look for a move again. He's looking outside once again. Will he get a time as he squeezes it? Oh, there's a little bit of contact. They're keeping it clean, though. Will Gary will be going down on the inside? Yes, he will. He dives it, actually. They're going to keep it clean, at least for now. DXD gets a little bit of a snap. Ardell compromises his line a little bit. Gary will be looking for a move once again as he gets stuck on the curb and will have to back out. And once again, Ardell, with the spectacular defense, will once again live to see another day. As I believe the DXD lag out of the session. I'm not sure. No, he did not. He is good. I believe he got a snap of oversteer now, right there. Actually, no, he did not. So his internet is acting up. I have to take a guess. So all this is just helping, really, is just Yeet Doggo and Goose Slayer. Not Yeet Doggo. Goose Slayer is
Well, I
actually
think
at
it's
the 10
helping
second
Goose
range.
Slayer. Yeet Dog has shown that, you know, he doesn't quite have the speed of everybody else when he was holding up traffic earlier before the very first safety car. So Goose Slayer can get by the Yeet Dog. I think he's got an opportunity to catch up with his train.
Yeah, but the opportunities are going away very quickly. Is actually Gary and Ardell are flashing, so they're below 20% of battery. So this is going to be interesting to see, especially when you're Stig and Ishigo. They see that they're flashing, they're used up all their battery. Now what do? You sit behind or you go for the attack?
Well, I think you just got to wait till the first straightaway, the first corner and the second corner. Those are your passing opportunities, unless the guy in front of you makes a mistake.
Yep, I would adapt. So it's just really a matter of, it's going to be down to who has the best battery and at the end of the race, and whoever's in the best position at the best moment.
Because Ardell and Gary both are running about the same. Gary keeps trying to push it, even in these little short shoots, and he shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, but it seems like Ardell gets a little bit of snaps in there. I would have to say that Gary is the fastest car between himself. As they're actually going wheel to wheel with Stig and Ishigo. Never mind. Ishigo's internet is once again acting up. As now we're going through the DRS train straight as Gary's going to be looking for a move once again. Going down the outside as he actually gets forced off track by Ardell. Will Gary send it? No, he will not actually. He's peeking, but Ardell shuts the door. So, in my opinion, really, if Ardell can keep this up, I believe he'll be able to hold off Gary. But for the time being, this is not really helping, I would have to say, Ardell out either, because he's, once again, backing the pack up. And he has a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits, so chances are we will not see that be getting removed. And that will probably help Gary and Ishigo. And something I'd like to point out is that Goose Slayer is only 2 seconds behind Yeet Doggo. So like you said, if Yeet Doggo is keeping even with these guys, and if Goose Slayer is gaining at this rate, I believe we'll be able to see Goose Slayer at the rear end of this DRS train even before at the end of this race, which I'm really surprised to say, but I'm also not surprised at the same time of how hard they've been racing, as Gary's actually on the inside going into turn 1. I'm glad I was not able to miss that. So seems like Ardell's defense is just really helping him out here.
Oh, Gary blows it into the
Oh no!
He tried to hit his DRS, and I don't know why he would want to make a turn. I mean, a pass into the fourth corner, because that's just doesn't happen very often. That's a shame. Oh well, safety car. That's gonna bunch all 4 of them up. No, 5 guys left.
I mean, that was my fault. I apologize because I did not show the battle. I was waiting for it. I was gonna let you speak, and then I saw that they were going wheel to wheel. I tried going as quick as I can, and as soon as I got to them, I saw a tire. I saw debris just flying everywhere. I knew it didn't result well.
Yeah, I was actually on the camera, my camera, looking to the to the left of Gary, and I could see right away that You know, he was on the battery. It wasn't going to do him any good. That left-hander coming up. So Ardell's coming in. I don't know if he got damaged or not.
No, everyone's going in. They're all going in for softs.
Softs. Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh, this really lays into Goose Layer's hands. I think you'll be able to get around Eat Dog in a heartbeat.
Everyone has time penalties except for this, what I'm saying about DXD.
And the thing is Ichigo's, they're going to make him serve it, and he shouldn't have to. That'll screw him up coming out of the pits.
Well, he only has one to remove now, so that did not help him out whatsoever. But at the same time, he didn't even lose any positions. I'm really surprised to see. Now, at this point, this is going to be a dash to the line. So Ardell actually went in for mediums. I'm really surprised about. If I'll be honest, I agree with this decision. Because the softs, after 2 laps, they overheat like crazy. And basically everyone's going to be here now, so really, your only threat is DXD has to go, and all these guys are threats. After 2 laps, you just got to stay ahead of them for 2 laps. And after that, you're just going to be an eagle, just flying in the wind.
Oh, whoa. Ichigo got right up underneath Ardell. I didn't know if he got a penalty for that. I wasn't looking up.
He did not, because I'm looking at time penalties right now. Whoa. Okay, we'll only finish with 5. I will not be surprised if we do see that in the steward's portal to get that removed. So, 2 of the guys, actually, all 3 of them are out of this Grand Prix. No, I keep on thinking that you said Ron instead of Ardell. So, oh, never mind. I keep on thinking DXD's done something, but when it's just this connection to the server, so half of the grid is gone. We only have 5 drivers left. This has to be some sort of record for most amount of drivers that have finished in the Grand Prix, as Yeet Doggo is actually in the lane.
Well, right now, Goose Layer's in the catbird seat. Doesn't have to pass anybody. Doesn't have to fight anybody. You just got to keep everybody within the time penalties. I think if he gets by Ichigo, he's got this in the bag.
Yep, but I also know Ichigo. He's not gonna give it up that easy. So, if I will not be surprised if DXD tries to keep Stig in between the 2. I think with the way how DXD races, we're gonna know if he's gonna at least try and make an attempt to get it removed. Because if he gets around Ardell like immediately and then tries to pull away as much as he can, I think he's gonna make an attempt to get it removed. So now I think it's just gonna be Goose Layer's responsibility of making a right pass in the right corner, not making any absurd moves, like I said in qualifying. And it's going to be down to DXD's responsibility to keep pace so far down Stig, to make sure that Goose Layer does not get near him whatsoever.
Safety car's in.
This is going to be exciting to watch, I'll say that myself.
Yeah, there'll only be 2 laps of DRS.
Yep, as now Ardell is packing the pack up.
Backing him up.
And he's off. Oh, he didn't catch D sleeping. DC's going to be looking for a move going into turn 1. He's going to be down the inside. Will he push Ardell to the outside curb? And he actually gets the head.
He does.
And he does push him. And now Stig's ahead of Ardell. This is not what you needed to see or happen as if you were BRL Ardell's. Now Goose Layer will be trying to make an overtake, which will not be able to work. DXD, he won in his Tier 4 debut. Did not get the ball rolling, but after that, it was just a streak of win after win after win, and now they have decided to move him up. That will not stop him, at least for now. Will DXD able to get a win in his Tier 3 debut in the Alfa Romeo, keeping the Alfa Romeo glory in, which will actually bring Alfa Romeo to his first victory here in Tier 3. I know it's not actually France. Catcher got Alfa Romeo's first win at France. Now, will DXD able to make it the second and the first of the other driver that is not named Catra? Now, I was saying that there was a little battle going on between Doggo, Gooseslayer, and Ardell. So it seems like Ardell is struggling with the medium tires as he's locking up a lot and not getting the run that he needs. Gooseslayer, I'll not be surprised if he does go for sort of overtake because he does not need this. DXD sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix in 18.7. So now Stig only 3/10 behind.
Oh,
only behind
Gooseslayer's got it.
Gooseslayer's looking for a move on Ardell. Ardell just does not have the grip to fight back, and now Gooseslayer is free to go to catch down the AlphaTauri and Alfa Romeo of DXD Ishigo, and he's gonna have to make these moves quick if he needs any shot at DXD Ishigo for this win at this Grand Prix.
Oh, he's already picked up 2/10 in that corner. Picked up another 10th. Oh, he's looking good.
Yeah, but
Gooseslayer's the fastest guy on the track right now. Oh, Stig just got sideways.
Yeah, that helps Gooseslayer massively here, because that actually allows him to catch up, but something Gooseslayer is doing, which I do not recommend, he is just wasting it all as Stig actually misses the corner and has to go wide, knowing this game that is probably not a track warning, as Gooseslayer is already at 30. That is not what you need to do in situations like these, and it's actually starting to get overcast a little bit. So I do not believe that rain will be a factor, but with it being overcast, the soft tires are actually going to cool down. It's going to help the guys on softs. And Ardell, this is not what you need to see. His DRS is actually activated this time but no one will be able to use it until lap 34. Only 32 laps have been completed in this Grand Prix, as we're on lap 33 now. DXD Ishigo in the Alfa Romeo. He's leading, but with the 5-second time penalties, that will give the win to Gooseslayer, at least for right now. Unless DXD gets it removed, the Stig goes wide and gets rid of the 150 board.
Off the track. And
as he actually, his tires are overheated.
And goes flying.
I believe his tires are overheated.
All right, so we got the two new guys in T3 or
he's
1 and 2.
off! Stig's off. That's not a DNF though, but that is him out of contention for this win in the Grand Prix. If something did happen between the Gooseslayer and DXD Ishigo, as now really we're down to 4 drivers at this point when it comes to victory, for at least being eligible for victory. Now we're going to lap 34.
He did not get the DRS. So really, DRS means nothing because the last lap there's not enough distance to make up any time with a DRS. So he's going to have to do it on the track.
It's not showing me that he has DRS, but I do believe that he does. I'm not sure though, because the game is glitched and it's good like that. As now we're on the penultimate lap of the Hungarian Grand Prix. I believed, honestly, to be honest with you, I thought it was going to be a smoother race because Hungary, at least driving in this game, it's really fun, but racing, it's just not. But you saw on F2, realistic, it's been action-packed. You know, like I said before, on the penultimate lap of the Hungarian Grand Prix, you see Ishigo, Alfa Romeo, with time penalties, not time penalties, but actually, yeah, time penalties, what am I saying? But with the chance of his time penalties getting removed, he does not need Gooseslayer to get around him whatsoever. He's going to have to get his muscles out, but you saw it early in this Grand Prix. He's forced Stig wide. I would have to make an observation there that he will do the same thing to Gooseslayer is now. We're going on the final lap of the Grand Prix. Gooseslayer 100% will have DRS, but will he have the ERS advantage? He does not actually. He will not have any ERS whatsoever as disposable. as he's going very deep in the
Way
corner.
deep.
Oh, he will not make the corner as DXD has to give him a little bit of space. Now, will we see him forcing him wide? And yes, he does. He's forced him wide. He's forced him to go off a little bit. Has to go off the race line to compromise his line a little bit. Now, DXD does not have to make any mistakes, really, to stay ahead, to have any shot to getting this one, the Hungarian Grand Prix. Unless Goose Slayer has a big moment, I believe Goose Slayer will win this race, at least for now, as it is complete overcast. So I would believe these softs are overheating like badly right now. It does not seem like it from Alfa Romeo and Mercedes of DXC Ishigo and Goose Slayer. As we're going through sector 2 for the final time. Goose Slayer down a second in case if we go for the fastest lap attempt, which I doubt. As now we're going through the penultimate corner. The Mercedes of Goose Slayer is given pressure to Alfa Romeo of DXD Ishigo. Now going through the final quarter now. He's giving the pressure to DXD. DXD, if he does not crash right here, which he does not, he doesn't pull me, he will win on track in his debut. Goose Slayer will get the victory on his debut. I'd like to point out, as Ardell got P3 on track, and that is a Yeet Doggo podium. First ever podium for Yeet Doggo, I believe, even in his BRL career. As now we wait for Stig. He's probably going for a fastest lap attempt. As he's gotten wide, he sets a purple sector 3, so this will be huge, at least for Constructor Championship. If they're even in the fight, I'm not sure if they are. It would be nice if you're able to check that right now. Tongue, as now he's going through the final corner now. We're going to have to see if he gets fastest lap. He goes through the final corner now. He gets on the power barely early, and he does a, yes, that is the fastest lap for Stig in the AlphaTauri.
Very great race.
Yeah, great race from, especially that half the grid wasn't here, but even with the grid that we had, not even half, only half of them finished, which is just really unfortunate to see from those guys. Some went for moves that weren't worth it, at least in my opinion. Others just got unfortunate with the game, and it caused them to even get disqualified. It's just really unfortunate to see from those guys. It's not something you want to see, but the racing was very clean nonetheless. Yeet Hari gets his first podium in his BRL career. Like I said, I believe DXD Ishigo in his debut race. The top two are debut drivers, and they're able to get 1-2. As I'll have to ask DXD a question about if he says now. I'm just waiting for.
And that was the problem with Goose Slayer too. He had no way of knowing, what the penalties were that Ichigo had and where he got them. So maybe he could have pushed a little bit harder in those last 2 laps. Who knows?
Yep, as I may just restart my game. I'm not sure if I'm able to do podiums. Now I'm out of the lobby, as now I'll have to back out. So, very interesting race, and nonetheless, is 3 of the 4 championship contenders, or even 5 if you want to include Katra at this point. 4 out of 5 championship contenders just crashed out, as Ardell will be able to somewhat capitalize on that, getting some bag of points. I'm not sure where he finished, either P5 or P4, so that will be either 12 or 10 points to his name. Nonetheless, really good for the championship fight, at least in his favor, unless time penalties are handed out. As Quick Tongue, do you want to start interviews with Yeet Doggo and P3?
Sure.
Yeah, I'm here.
Right.
As well.
You were able to survive. How do you feel your race went?
First of all, we just going and just trying to act as possible. I mean, we got the 3 second, but it was a race. I mean, especially when I had to defend for a second. I was on my tires, just using all like slow as hell. So at the end, I knew it was gonna get more crazy. Just we could get a podium, just bring the car home, and we got a podium.
You saved it. You came out of 5 on that right-handed uphill and got into the markers there, and I thought, oh no, you're going into the wall, but you saved that.
Yeah.
But that was a good job. Looking forward to Spa next week.
Yeah, I'm not going to the Spa next week. I got a holiday concert next week, but we'll try again the other week. I don't know what track is the other week, so we'll get good points over there, hopefully.
Good job.
Thank you very much. Podium, baby, let's go!
There you go. Who else do we have?
Do not blame me for being excited. We have Goose Slayer in P2 and the Mercedes. I'm not sure if he's in the party or not. Actually, is he?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, I would have to guess, and he's unavailable to join as we go on to our race winner, which I'll be doing my interview. My man, my ex-co-commentator for Tier 3, right? I was acting like you got the win. I keep forgetting that you're P2. Keep forgetting that you're gonna get the time penalty removed. But anyway, you're P2 in your debut race. I would have to ask the question right away off the bat. Are you going to get that 5-second time penalty getting removed, especially since it's under safety car? You know, a lot of those guys getting those time penalties removed. And just give us your thoughts really through that absolute craziness of a race.
Yeah, I was not expecting that at all. My only practice was realistic last night and Alfa Romeo, so I guess that helped a little bit. That was a wet race, and then tonight I did like one lap in equal cars and then hopped on the server, and then qualifying was actually pretty good. I got P5 I think on the mediums, right next to Ron and someone else, like Booktongue maybe. And then the race was going good on those mediums. The pace was really good, so Ron let me through at one point, and then the safety car came out that kind of screwed all of us over, me, him, and Katra, and then I don't remember the rest. The rest is kind of a blur. I know the hards felt crap until the other safety car came out, and they felt better. Ron got screwed over. He had to go on those mediums because Stig took him out. I don't know what Stig was doing. He took out Ron on their safety car and then me immediately after. So I got 2 5-seconds. So those will definitely get removed to answer your question. That was just bogus. So it got together near the end of the race. Katrick got unlucky, hopped the curb, and that was very unfortunate for the team and for her. I know she was looking really good this race. Easily could have double podium, maybe even have won 2. But yeah, then that last safety car came out. Ardell was on the mediums while we were on softs, and then it was just a matter of keeping Stig behind with his 6-second and trying to keep what's his name?
Goose Slayer.
Goose Slayer, yeah. Also, shout out, who was behind Ardell like the entire race? One of the Mercs.
That was Gary.
Yeah. Shout out to
he
Gary.
tried to make a pass in turn 5 on, that after that long shoot when you come down off of 4, and that's just the wrong place to put it. Took him right into the wall.
He tried that about 2 or 3 times while I was behind him. I'm not really surprised that happened, but I do feel bad for him because he had some great pace. He was clearly faster than Ardell for most of the race. But yeah, I'll take the win. I know it's technically P2, but I mean, it's basically the win. I got it on track, and those penalties will get removed. So good debut for Tier 3, just like Tier 4. So actually better than Tier 4 debut. So yeah, I'm happy.
Yeah, at this rate you're going to be in Tier 1, and who's going to beat you?
I that's the hope. Need to get that pace back from season 5 and 6 in Tier 2. So keep pushing.
Well, congratulations. We had a great race.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like zoning out in the space there. After you stopped talking, I was sitting there confused, but I forgot I was streaming. But great race to commentate, really. As unless I will be back for Tier 4 alongside Zeno or Monaco, whatever you want to call him. He probably doesn't care. But anyway, we'll be back in 30 minutes for Tier 4. Join us. It's going to be an exciting race. This